Have you ever felt like the world is simply too much? Not just busy, not just stressful, but emotionally loud, as if everything carries weight. News feels heavy, crowds feel overwhelming. Even small moments, a sad story, a stranger's expression, a subtle change in someone's voice, stay with you longer than they seem to for others. And sometimes you quietly wonder, why does everything affect me this deeply? For a long time, sensitivity is described as something we should manage. People say, don't take things personally. You're overthinking. You need thicker skin. As if feeling deeply were an error that needs correction. As if the goal of growing up is learning how not to feel. And after hearing this enough times, you may begin questioning yourself. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I should react less. Maybe something about me needs to change. But what if feeling deeply is not the problem? Some people move through the world filtering emotions quickly. Experiences pass through them without staying long. Others absorb atmosphere. They notice suffering easily. They feel injustice intensely. They sense tension before words appear. They walk into a room and immediately feel its emotional temperature. And carrying that awareness can be exhausting, not because life is unbearable, but because nothing feels neutral. Everything matters a little more. There were moments in my life when I began noticing how much pain exists in the world. Not only personal pain, but collective pain. Stories of cruelty, moments of harm, nature struggling, people misunderstanding and hurting each other without realizing it. And I remember feeling something close to helplessness, like my heart was reacting to things I had no power to change. It wasn't anger, it was sadness. A quiet question repeating inside me. How do you live peacefully when you can feel so much suffering around you? For a while, I thought the answer was distance. To stop paying attention. To care less. To protect myself by becoming emotionally smaller. But that never worked. Because sensitivity doesn't disappear when ignored. It simply turns inward. And eventually, I understood something important. Sensitivity does not mean you must carry the entire world. Feeling deeply does not mean you are responsible for fixing everything you notice. Sometimes awareness arrives before we learn boundaries. And learning those boundaries is part of growing, not hardening. Sensitive people often believe they must choose between two extremes. Either close their hearts completely, or remain overwhelmed forever. But there is a third way. To stay open, while learning where your responsibility ends. To care, without dissolving into what you cannot control. To notice pain without becoming consumed by it. I slowly realized that my sensitivity was not meant to punish me. It was showing me what matters to me. Compassion, kindness, gentleness, understanding. Not as a burden, but as direction. Like an internal compass quietly pointing toward meaning. Because the things that move you deeply often reveal what your heart values most. And something gentle changed when I accepted that. Instead of asking, "How do I stop feeling so much?" I began asking, "How do I care in a sustainable way? How do I stay human without becoming overwhelmed?" The answer wasn't withdrawal, it was softness toward myself. Allowing rest, allowing limits, allowing moments where I step back without guilt. Because caring for the world also requires caring for the one who is feeling it. Maybe feeling deeply means you are tuned to meaning. And meaning can feel heavy before it becomes purpose, before you understand how to carry it gently. Sensitivity does not have to make life smaller. It can make life more intentional. You begin choosing environments carefully, conversations thoughtfully, moments of quiet deliberately, not to escape the world, but to remain balanced within it. This space isn't here to escape the world, just to rest from carrying it alone for a few minutes. A small pause, a reminder that softness still belongs here. What if nothing is wrong with you because your heart reacts strongly to pain or injustice? What if your sensitivity was never weakness, but awareness without armor? What if the world sometimes feels heavy not because you are fragile, but because you allow yourself to care? And what if learning to live peacefully doesn't require becoming colder, only gentler with yourself? Maybe you were never meant to carry everything you see, only to remain human inside it. I wonder, do you sometimes feel overwhelmed by the world itself, not just your own life? I will be here again soon. Until then, take gentle care of yourself.